Dear Diary, today I fell down another rabbit hole. I told myself I'd just read a few articles, but here I am, hours later, chasing names I shouldn't know and piecing together details no one's supposed to remember. I'm Neeli Faulkner, and this is Dead Diary, a true crime journal for the obsessed, the curious, and the ones who always dig a little deeper. So let's go ahead and turn the page, but don't say I didn't warn you. We're back today with part 2 of the Karen Read retrial. If you aren't caught up, make sure to check out episode 1, which is part 1 of this mini-series. You can find it right before this episode on your podcast player. All right, let's dive right back into it. Week 2 of testimony in the Karen Read retrial wasted no time cranking up the pressure. The courtroom has become a high-stakes battleground, and nearly every witness that takes the stand seems to walk away with a bruise. We started out again with Jennifer McCabe, one of the last people to see Karen Read before John O'Keefe was found dead. Her testimony was all over the place, and the defense jumped right on it. She was pressured hard on inconsistencies across interviews, court appearances, and text messages. One of the most heated topics, the now infamous Google search, "How long to die in the cold," incorrectly spelling how as HOS. The defense believes that search happened at 2:27 a.m. before John's body had been discovered, but digital forensic experts say the search was actually made around 6:24 a.m. after John had been found. Then there are group chat texts McCabe was questioned about. Phrases like "keep it simple" and "don't want to text about it" raised flags for the defense, who suggested that McCabe and her family may have colluded to cover something up. McCabe denied any wrongdoing and insisted her memory was spotty due to shock and trauma. But of course, defense attorney Alan Jackson wasn't buying it. At one point, he implied that McCabe deliberately avoided going into her sister's home that morning at 34 Fairview Road because she, quote, knew better. McCabe insisted that because there was such chaos happening outside the house, her focus was on the lawn, not the house. Then came Lieutenant Paul Gallagher, who testified that he used a leaf blower to uncover blood beneath the snow in the front yard. If you think that's strange, well, I do too. Gallagher's rather unorthodox method of using red Solo cups to preserve blood samples in a broken cocktail glass near O'Keefe's body was also called into question by the defense. Paramedic Katie McLaughlin told the jury that when she approached Karen Read for information, Read was visibly upset and repeatedly said, "I hit him." Standing next to her? Well, that was Jennifer McCabe, who allegedly told Read to calm down. A police officer reportedly heard the same thing. Other witnesses included partygoers and neighbors who testified about what they saw or didn't see that night. One witness said she saw a man in the passenger seat of Read's SUV, but later only Read was inside. Then came Trooper Nicholas Gorino, who played voicemail after voicemail Karen left on John's phone, more than 50 calls, many laced with anger and profanity. The final voicemail was recorded while she was discovering John's body, and you can hear her screaming in the background. From there, the defense turned the heat on the investigators. Lieutenant Kevin O'Hara testified about finding 6 taillight fragments in John's missing sneaker outside the Albert House. Critical pieces of physical evidence the prosecution says ties Read to the scene. But the defense questioned why some of that evidence wasn't recovered until after the snow melted, implying it could have been planted. Things got even murkier with Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, who worked closely with former lead investigator Michael Proctor, the same Proctor who was fired for misconduct, including sending derogatory text messages about Karen Read during the investigation. Buchanan tried to distance himself from the fallout, but admitted Proctor did most of the legwork, including interviews, analysis, and reports. He claimed the investigation was handled with integrity, but the defense wasn't buying it. They grilled him on everything from his theory that O'Keefe was hit with a cocktail glass to the suspicious timing of taillight discoveries. Then there were the text messages between Karen Read and ATF agent Brian Higgins. The two had a flirtatious exchange just weeks before John's death. The defense suggested there might have been jealousy or confrontation involved, and Higgins even texted John at 12:20 a.m. just minutes before John's phone stopped moving. As for motive, when asked if Higgins had a reason to hurt O'Keefe, Sergeant Buchanan said no. But under cross-examination, the defense pushed back. Quote, "What about a motive to confront him about a girl?" Buchanan simply replied, "The texts speak for themselves." Finally, surveillance footage from the Canton Police Department raised more eyebrows, showing Brian Higgins inside the building at 3 a.m. retrieving what looked like a cell phone. He claimed he was moving vehicles due to the snowstorm, but I'm not sure that's the truth. Throughout the week, the defense hammered the point that Proctor had deep ties to the Albert family and should have never led the investigation. But when pressed on whether those conflict of interest were ever investigated, Sergeant Buchanan admitted they were not. The last few days were dominated by debate over who said what, who was where, and whether critical evidence was missed or manipulated. The prosecution tried to hold the line while the defense aimed to unravel the entire narrative thread by thread. And just like that, week 2 wrapped, no resolution in sight, and the jury and everyone watching still is very much on edge. Week 3 promises even more bombshells, and you already know I'll be right here with you to tell you all about it. See you next week. Dead Diary is a production of Murder Creek Media. To explore more of our work, including our investigative true crime series and other stories that keep us up at night, visit murdercreekmedia.com. Remember, new episodes of Dead Diary drop every week, so make sure to follow or subscribe on any podcasting platform. We'll see y'all soon.